Hey V-Stag, thank you for being my first guest like last time. Hope all's going well. How's your weekend, V-Stag? Wish I could find the link to the live stream so I can go share it. Let me see, maybe I can. No. Oh. That's not how you do it. It's going pretty good. It's obviously almost at an end, V-Stag. It's gotta go back to work tomorrow. Went to play laser tag yesterday. I was the second oldest person in there. It was for a friend's birthday who had never played laser tag before. And then went, good night. And then Friday was probably the most fun I had all weekend. I'll be posting this video later, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But so the video I posted earlier this week of the wild caught fancy guppies that someone dumped nearby. Wow, the yellow color really looks bad. Makes you look like I have bad coloring. I don't care about coloring. I'm wearing inside out undershirt right now. But anyways, someone dumped some fancy guppies, and actually the overflow of a what's it called? Like a storm drain kind of area. It's like an overflow from there, and it's like a really rocky area. And I went there on Friday with a friend and his son, and we at first were like, no way, the guppies are there. That's all dried up. We kept going. We came to a no trespassing sign, so we stopped there. We didn't trespass, and we turned around. And we walked back towards the pond that was dried up, and we looked a little further to explore a little bit around that pond that was dried up, and sure enough there's an overflow, which is actually where we saw like a bajillion tadpoles. It was a lot of tadpoles. Like, maybe this is where it is, because the student that brought me the fancy guppies, also in that same bucket was a few fancy guppies. I mean, quite a few tadpoles as well. So I was like, we might be on the right path here. So kept going a little bit further, and sure enough, over on this one side of this overflow, which was filled with huge rocks. I mean, rocks that weighed as much as I do probably. So about 2 tons. And they kept, and I found them finally. So I'll be posting that video, just a 2-minute video of the collecting trip. And I brought, I think what I counted is about 30 of them back. It got to a certain point where the guppies were outsmarting us a little bit. I'm outsmarted by a 1-inch fish. It has a brain the size of the size of smaller than a pencil eraser. So, but it was figuring us out, so it would just go and hide under the rocks and go in between these 2 rocks and go in these small little pool areas to where we couldn't fit our net. So it was pretty frustrating. So we eventually stopped at a certain point and just called it a day. And I brought most of them back, kept them outside for part of the weekend, and let me change the title of this, actually. Talking about his wild guppy collecting trip. Let me see if that'll save the changes. Yep, changes. Alright, I'll change to save. Maybe I'll get a few people I know it is pretty amazing, V-Stag, how the fish adapted to the temperatures, because I mean, over the past few weeks, a few weeks ago, it was down in the 40s at nighttime. Hey, pickled Placostomus, pickled Placo. I'll stick to that. I can say Placostomus, but it takes me forever to think a little bit. So, pickled Placo, I hope my tips I was sharing in the Corey's Aquarium Co-op feed were helpful. Hey, Abby. Hope everything's well up in the north there. Looks like I got more people in when I typed in that title. Who knows? Maybe it's just. But anyways, so yeah, collected probably about 30 fancy guppies, maybe 35, I guess. And I think we only lost, which, I mean, you don't want to lose any, but out of the 35 we collected, I think I've found maybe 3 or 4 dead, so I guess 10%. But those were, I mean, could have been dead for a lot of reasons. Also, along with the guppies, I collected, not on purpose, it was just they got stuck in the net too, some diving water beetles and some other water beetles, and some tadpoles. The tadpoles didn't harm the guppies, but I'm pretty sure that the beetles did harm the guppies, so that could have been one reason why the few guppies died. But there were some huge tadpoles. I mean, there were some like probably about as long as my hand. I mean, they were huge, and those big, huge guppies, not guppies, but tadpoles, you would see them like swim up to the surface and like just completely like not spear it, but run into a guppy. And I mean, they were just brutal on the guppies. I mean, I get it, the guppies aren't supposed to be there. That's not their natural environment. I'm pretty irritated at the person who dumped them. The friend I was with is pretty smart. He said possibly a person could have had them because it looked like the overflow was from a storm drain or something. So it looked like somebody could have had them, you know, out in their pond, like what someone commented on my video also, and they could have just flooded out of there as well. So that's possible. All right, so how far along are we in this so I can know? So we are already 9 minutes into it. So I'll make a funny face so I can make a thumbnail. Ready? So there, my student likes to. One of my former students actually likes to take a screenshot of my funny faces, especially on the thumbnails. So if you're watching this, you know who you are, who takes the screenshots. Kiddie pool. Yeah, pickled Placo. The thing is about a kiddie pool is that if they're the taller ones, the really big ones, then they might be deep enough to work. But my concern would be that they aren't deep enough to have a little bit of a cooler place to go. Like they aren't going to have a place to be able to escape the sunlight. Whereas in the tubs with the rope handles on them, they can, I mean, once the green water builds up, especially actually pretty early on after you put water in there, the fish will have enough space in the water column to be able to go and hide. They'll be able to hide from predators. They'll be able to hide from your net. They'll be able to hide from the sun, so it's like a little bit of shade almost. Also, keep them in the shade too, just like what Corey said. Even in the shade in my area here in Virginia last summer, I had them outside when it was like 95 to 100 degrees. And so what I would do is I have two 35-gallon rain barrels. And so I would fill up a garden watering can with water from I turn the faucet on the bottom of it, the spigot on the bottom of it, which would release the coolest water from my rain barrel that's shaded. My rain barrel that's shaded is, so where's the camera, is like over here. Whereas my one that's not shaded is, come on camera, is like over this way. So it's in front of me. The hot one is. The cooler one is behind me. Um, so anyways, I took some water out of that, put it in a watering can, and then I would just pour it into the guppy tubs, and that would you could see that you can see bubbles going in. You know that it's injecting dissolved oxygen into the water, and also it being cooler water will help to bring the temperature down, which will also increase the amount of oxygen. So that was the way that I would kind of filter it. And I was thinking, because you asked the question in the live stream if I filtered them, and I was thinking, I was like, I know I put in air stones and air tubing, but I didn't put any filters in them. What I did was really kind of nerdy, which no surprise that I'm a nerd. Um, so no surprise I'm a nerd. What I did was I put an air stone on the bottom of an air tube, obviously, dropped it in there, put on a three-way gang valve on there so I could put into 3 different tubs that I had, and then 1 tube going into the three-way gang valve, and then I would actually be the air pump, which I know is mostly carbon dioxide, but still it would get the water moving. So I would go out there, once a day or whatever. I want to go check on them and feed them and stuff, and I actually blow into the air tube myself, and just to get some stuff moving to stir the stuff off of the bottom of the tub would just help a little bit. So that's what I did. I'm not sure how much that worked. Like I said, it's mostly carbon dioxide, obviously, but it did stir things up a little bit. What I think the most helpful thing was pouring in the cooler water from my rain barrels to help to inject more oxygen and cool the water down a little bit. I have heard of some people putting in actually ice cubes to help to cool it down, which, I mean, as long as it's not like a lot of ice cubes, then it's going to be fine. So that might help with the oxygen as well, because cooler water can absorb more oxygen than warmer water can. So, but long story short, pickled Pleco, I highly recommend those rope-handled tubs. I thought that they were only seasonal at Walmart. I thought they were only selling like 4th of July or Memorial Day weekend, but then I found them in a different area, and I think it was like $6 when it was off season. But yeah, I got 3 of them. I still have them. They're ready to go. Not ready to go yet, but I just got to fill them up with some water. I already have the water. My rain barrels are really full right now. We had a lot of rain this weekend, especially yesterday. Although weather guy said it was going to be more rain today, and we got nothing today. So if I was wrong as much as a weatherman was, being a teacher, I'd be fired. I think anybody would be if they were wrong as there. Yeah, normal air is 20% oxygen. That is true. Normal air is 79% nitrogen, about 20% oxygen, and 1% is other gases. What season can you buy them? I found them. You might even be able to start finding the rope handled tubs now if you look in the right section. I looked in this section with all of the like the Rubbermaid tubs and stuff. They were right there. But if not now, then just wait a little bit longer, and you should start to see some more as it gets closer to Memorial Day. Mine are blue, like red, white, and blue colored, so I think they were actually meant for bringing to barbecues and stuff. So yeah, that's when the best time is to buy them. So, oh, I am so blind. I just found the link to where I can go share this. So let me go share this in on my Facebook page. So while I'm talking about that, everyone go check out that's not the right one I want to share. I don't know why it's showing that one. I don't even know what to say here. I'm trying to find where I can do this. Let's see if it'll work on. That's not the same live stream. So I'm still getting the whole hang of this whole live stream chat thing. Pretty good at the chat aspect, but the live stream part, no, I'm not as good at. But I will once again try and keep this under 36 minutes. I say 30 minutes, but I always go over a little bit. But if it's not really going like what it's right now, I'll probably cut it a little bit shorter, but who knows. So let's see what happens if we go. It'll probably end up into like some like Back to the Future space-time continuing thing with the dude, where's my card, continuing trans functioner. So where this goes. Oh, so it does bring us to this one. So that was a weird thumbnail it showed. Okay, so maybe I will share it. So take that, YouTube. Actually, it's me that's messing up here. So let me go share this on my MrScienceGeek page. But anyways, while I'm saying this, make sure that you go and like or whatever, follow my my page on Facebook, which is just facebook.com/MrScienceGeek. And then make sure you follow me on Twitter, which I'll be posting that right now. My Twitter is also pretty easy. Twitter is also pretty easy. It's at MrScienceGeek. Please follow me so I actually feel like I have followers. See here, then I guess that's it for right now. I do have an Instagram too where I post some pictures of like upcoming videos, but I don't do that from my laptop, I do that from my phone. And that's also at MrScienceGeek. So I guess I'll post it to Reddit too. I actually did bring in one viewer last time from Reddit. I'll stream it or share it with the guppy subreddit. Do that. So by the time the people see it and find it and get there, then I'll probably be done. So because it's 20 minutes in right now, I'll end it in, hey, Ridiculous Fish Adventures, thank you for stopping by. So Ridiculous Fish Adventures, out of curiosity, how did you find out about my stream? So actually everybody in the chat, all 1, 2, 3 of you, how did you find out about my stream, or how did you see that I was live, so I can know what's the most useful way of getting it out there. Oh, thank you, VStack, for sharing on the aquarium live stream. One of these days I'll actually, give Nisi enough advance notice and post it on there. I also might actually announce in advance when I'm going live. That would probably work as well. Oh yeah, Ridiculous Fish, I've honestly never had to use any kind of a medication. I had a guppy a few weeks ago that had some sort of issue, but I took her out, separated her from the rest of the community, and they haven't seemed to be showing any symptoms or anything. A long time ago, back when I was still in college, Ridiculous Fish, this was 12 years ago. Oh, thank you, VStag, for posting that once again. And thank you to Ridiculous Fish and Pickled Placo for subbing to me. And I'm almost positive that I'm subscribed to y'all too. Let me go double check that just to be sure. No, Pickled Placo, I'm not a subscriber yet, but you need to post some videos. I want to see some of your videos, so come on, post some content. I usually don't subscribe to people that don't have any content, but I'll make an exception since you are cool enough to be in on my live stream. And then let's see who else. Ridiculous Fish, I'm almost positive I'm subscribed to you. So yes, I am. And you do have some videos, so that's why I already subbed to you, and because you're pretty frequent in the fish chats in the live streams. So I'm gonna go ahead and make y'all, now that I saw where it is, go ahead and make VStag and Ridiculous Fish. Go ahead and make y'all moderators. Not like I need very many moderators for a whole 4 people, but also just want y'all to know that when oh, good, Pickle Placo. When I do post this video, I will put a link to your channels. I think it's gonna be up there. Yeah, it'll be up there. For links to your channels. Also, I'll put a link at the very end of the live stream as well. When this goes on live, when it goes recorded, I'll put a link to your channel. I'll also put links down in the description of this video. The descriptions, your links to your channels will be down there as well. So be sure to do that for Ridiculous Fish, Pickled Placo, and VStag. VStag, as much as you do for everybody, it's the least that I can do is do that kind of stuff. So yeah, Ridiculous Fish, I don't know what you meant by that message either than the fish themselves. I don't understand that one, but it's all good. I mean, you can always use the excuse of it's late over here. I know it's morning over there, but down under. But sorry for my really bad Australian accent attempt. You probably didn't even know it was an Australian accent attempt. It was so bad. Anyways, 11 years ago or so, back in college, I did have some sort of, I think it was a parasite outbreak in my live bearer tank. I had guppies, mollies. Maybe I had mollies. I don't know. I know I had guppies, platies, and swordtails. I might have had mollies. I usually avoid mollies because they just get so big, and they were in a 29 gallon, and I saw this like red worm hanging out the vent, we'll say that, their rear end, and so I went and got the medication. I thought it was the parasite clear one. So Ridiculous Fish, I'm really not an expert at all when it comes to medicating fish. I found these white stringy worms floating on top of my tank yesterday. I treated it with flubenazole 4 days ago. So Ridiculous Fish, I would recommend that the best person to ask that question to is Charles Fish Tanks. He is a genius when it comes to fish diseases and medication. He has books that are like this thick probably on fish diseases, and if I had a student like him in my class, which, I mean, obviously I teach 6th graders, so that's not going to happen, but I would be put in my place on a daily basis, probably, intellectually. If he was a classmate of mine in a college class, he'd be one I'd be sitting there like, I wouldn't even know what to say. Wow, the worms were bigger than the multi-shell dwellers themselves. As in they were like longer than the shell dwellers, or they were thicker than the shell dwellers? Hi Cody, I was just talking about you 10 minutes ago. So be sure to check out when you go back and watch this, when it's after it's recorded, go back and look at 9 minutes into the video. There will be a funny face for you to take a screenshot of. Hey DPK, get more betas. Charles is like, I could just sit there and listen to him and not understand what he's saying like all day long. His knowledge of like the more micro stuff is really impressive. Hey Chaz, Chaz, definitely gonna make you a mod. That's only fair since I'm a mod in yours. Also, to my students, Chaz, which I'll be putting a link to his video as well below this video. He is the one of my fish nerd friends from Peru that I talk about. Hey Susan, welcome to the stream. I was talking about you and Chaz and a few others in Corey's live stream earlier. This person was asking like what's a good fish forum to go to, and I said, you know, go to any live stream, and I listed Susan for SLC Aquatics and Chaz's Fish Channel, and I mentioned Sergeant Tanks, and I mentioned Luke Diesel at Flip Aquatics, and I mentioned Dave Bedencourt's, I think I said the name correctly, Aquariums. His is a good channel. I mean, as far as live streams go, are good live streams to get support from people out there. Chaz, I'd be super interested in seeing a video on a DIY filter. That'd be awesome to see. I'm always up for a new, cheaper DIY filter idea. TPK, the guppy fry are doing well. They were, I mean, I leave them at school over the weekend, obviously, so I'm hoping that they're doing all right. Probably gonna get a lot of hate on that one in the comments below, but I don't really have a choice. I've done it before, so. But yeah, ridiculous fish. Those are pretty long worms. That's really, really long. I was talking about something, but I got sidetracked. Go figure. I don't even remember now. But yeah, Chaz, I'd be interested in seeing those filters. Definitely take videos of that. And hey Chaz, don't be offended, but yesterday I happened to be watching one of your videos about see, what was the video about? I think it was it was definitely your fish room update. And I was watching it as I was like laying on the couch about to like take a nap kind of, and I kind of started dozing off as I was watching your video. But don't worry, when I woke up, I watched the video again and stayed awake, so it's not like your video is boring. But and like as I was falling asleep, I dreamed like, hey, be like really cool fish video ideas and like really cool content. And so it's not like your videos are boring, it's just that it was like really cool that I was like hearing your video in the background, and hearing your video in the background, and then like as I was falling asleep I had these really cool ideas for like really cool content, or my opinion content. So that was really it was really, really cool. But then I woke up, like I said, and I did watch the video over again and stayed awake, so it was a really cool video. But so Chaz, you said if you cut a air driver sponge filter on the joint. It connects up perfectly on a really rubbish filter. Total cost $4. So definitely, Chaz, please make a video of that and post it on there. Definitely be interested in seeing that. Hey, Rob Hicks, Aquariums, thank you for stopping by. Pickled Placo, I do have some plants in their fry box, so they do have stuff to eat on. And I have some Java moss in there, and actually a very small Java fern is in there as well. So they do have some things to kind of hide in and eat on. And also, before I left, I put some baby, that makes more sense, air driven makes more sense, yeah. But they also put some baby mosquito larvae in the water before I left on Friday. So Friday for the fry, and on Friday, and they ate most of them, but there were some left over. So it's really cool that this time of year, with the first mosquito larvae that I'm seeing that are coming out are really small. So those are really good for feeding to my fish fry. I scooped all of them up and fed them to my fish fry, and they loved them. The adults seem to like the bigger ones, obviously. Ridiculous Fish says to Chaz, I'm building a filter like that, also added to containers to hold media plus intake sponge and moving bed filter on outtake of the pump. Please post a video. That would be interesting seeing that. That sounds really cool. I love all the, especially if there's like moving bed filters that are really cool. I like those with all the biological filtration. So, all right, we're at 33 minutes. I'm gonna keep this to about maybe 3 more minutes or so, because for a teacher this is late. Not really. I'll stay awake for another hour or two probably, but I don't know, we'll see. But added 2 more containers. That's really good. So anyways, getting back to the actual point of this video, I guess you'd say, currently the wild guppies that I collected are sitting in a really one of those plastic tank things you get from like PetSmart for pets, obviously, and they're in there. I'm gonna bring most of them to school tomorrow. Have a great night, Susan. Thank you for stopping by. I'll be seeing you later on in the week, I'm sure. So, fish on. Good night. But the interesting is how the other guppies survive in low temps that your student. Yeah, it is pretty cool how they did that. And also, like this weekend, DPK is, hey David, David's Fish Tanks. DPK, it's interesting how this weekend the temperatures got pretty low because it's been rainy all weekend. So the temperatures have been like in the 50s, I think. So I completely forgot what I was saying. I'm really shocked that the guppies did as well as what they did, so I brought them inside to keep them a little bit warmer and to kind of not put them in as much shock tomorrow morning when I bring them into my classroom. And also my final plan is with them is I will rehome them with my students for free. Obviously, I don't sell to my students. Obviously, that'd be messed up and illegal, I'm pretty sure. And if it's not illegal, it should be illegal because it's so messed up. But anyways, I'll give away the fish to my students as long as they have a cycled aquarium at home that's the right size. It has a heater and a filter, and it has the appropriate other fish in it. The parents are fine with it, and the parents come pick them up with the fish. So that way the students aren't taking the fish home on the bus, because I'm pretty sure the bus drivers would not appreciate having live fish on the bus along with 40 kids on there. So yeah, not really a good idea. But anyway, so I rehome them with my students, and 2 of the guppies have a messed up backbone. So I'm going to, actually one student that has a red-tailed catfish that he feeds feeder guppies to, I'm going to give them to him so that he can have free food for his, or it's a free snack, I guess, for his red-tailed catfish. And then they'll rehome some. I'll keep a few actually. There are some pretty neat traits I would like to keep out of there. So I might take those and keep some of them and breed them and then give them away eventually. And then I don't know, give some away. Might sell some on Craigslist. Who knows? I'll probably, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But so that's my plan is with the that I would like to go back and get the rest of them because there were about 10 or so that we weren't able to collect. Oh my gosh, Shaz, are you serious? You were actually thinking of actually keeping my deformed guppies and letting them breed. My fear with that, Chaz, is that like the deformed backbones, especially because I have one female and I have one male, so I mean they could, but my concern for them is for their well-being is that if the female gets pregnant and gravid and starts carrying fry, then that much pressure on her backbone, I would think that would be a pretty miserable experience. So I think it's the best thing is to reintroduce them into the food chain. So I actually had the discussion with my environmental science class on Friday. Friday once again. Yeah, Vista, I do like to share with them the fish, and I bring the fish into the discussion as much as possible. I don't mean that I get the fish to talk, because that would be just crazy. Oh my gosh, Chaz, I'm pretty sure you're being sarcastic right now. Think of the genetic variations that could happen, and think about how much weaker the line would get and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're being sarcastic. But yeah, V-Stag, I do like to talk about the fish. The students love to talk about the fish. Students love to just, like, I have one student that he asked to move to the back of the classroom to a desk right next to the fish tank so that it actually calms him down a lot. He has a lot of energy and doesn't like to sit still very often and likes to talk a lot, but ever since I moved him back or let him move back near the fish tank, he's like completely chilled out, and he participates more in class now, and he'll I mean, he still pays attention, but it just helps to chill him out so much. But yeah, the double-tailed goldfish was a mutant. Actually, goldfish in general, Chaz, are a mutant. They're selectively bred, I thought, from aren't goldfish selectively bred from carp, or is that just koi are bred from carp? I know koi are bred from carp, but I thought the goldfish are as well. Although maybe the comet goldfish is actually somewhat, I don't know. Oh, now we're going to Lord of the Rings, and that's where you start to lose me. I watched the first Lord of the Rings, and I was like, no, I'm not nerdy enough for this, so sorry. Yeah, Chaz is just messing with me. Ridiculous fish. Goldfish are naturally occurring cyprinids. Yeah, I think the comet goldfish is the most natural looking one that I've seen in pet stores at least. But koi are bred from carp. Is that correct, or am I also getting that from a bad source of information as well? Oh geez, we're getting into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now. I'm Leonardo, by the way. Oh, koi or carp. Yeah, that makes sense, Chaz. All koi are carp, but not all carp are koi. It's a nice hierarchy thing right there. So this is a record long for me, so I'm going to probably go ahead and cut this stream, I think. And Sergeant Tank is live as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. It's perfect timing. It's longer than what I usually go by 5 minutes, and Sergeant Tank is now live, so everybody go check out his live stream. I'll see y'all over there. I might be adding some videos, I don't know, but go check them out. So have a good night, everybody. I'll see y'all later on in the week, and I hope to be live again on Tuesday night. I think at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, maybe 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We'll see. So y'all have a good night.